Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario, and in tonight's Game Plan, we'll break down the historic title run of the Filipinas in the 2022 AFF Women's Championship.
And we'll check in with Gilas Pilipinas men's Ray Parks Jr. and Kevin Quiambao as they dive deep into their roles for the national squad. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game.
History! Right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, the Philippines are your 2022 AFF Women's Champions. And now they've done it. The Filipinas are the best in Southeast Asia.
Well, that actually gave me goosebumps. I haven't seen that video before. And the Filipinas are the new queens of Southeast Asian football. Now, for the first time in history, our national women's football team claimed the AFF Women's Championship title. The Filipinas bounced back and got a 3-0 victory over powerhouse Thailand in the finals. Over 8,000 fans, I was one of them, witnessed the remarkable achievement in home soil at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Joining us now are the champions themselves, Dom Randall, Janaya Anis, and Sarah Egishvik, whose name I've said correctly. Ladies, congratulations and welcome to the show.
Congratulations, ladies.
Oh my goodness. Girls, I haven't lost my voice in 6 or 7 years until I watched your game. It was incredible. First off, T, I want to ask you, how does it feel having the armband, being able to lead the squad, going into this tournament, and ending up with a trophy?
It's an honor for me to be able to represent for our team and for our country.
And Dominique, 8,000, Pao mentioned it, 8,000 people watched live yesterday. What can you say about the supporters? For sure more than 8,000 in TV, on TV or on social media, but how did that affect you as an athlete representing the country?
Well, first, hosting AFF meant a lot to us. Being able to play in front of our family, our fans, and in our home country, making sure that we want to represent well. We always prided ourselves in playing with honor and pride. So having the fans there was absolutely amazing. I think they gave us that electricity that we really needed and reminded us of who we do this for and why we play the game. It's for the love of the country, and every minute of every game we just fought as hard as we could, and it was enough. And we're really excited to hopefully continue this momentum moving forward.
Sarah, you look at this group and you look at this team. You're relatively new to the team overall. Did you imagine this type of experience, this type of atmosphere, and everything that came packaged alongside this tournament?
No, it has been so much better than I expected. To play in front of that big crowd was amazing, and the whole experience, pre-camp and tournament, wow, it's incredible.
Now, Tane, can you walk through us about the journey of getting this championship? How did you bounce back against Thailand? 3 goals, 3-0 in the championship.
Well, it was definitely a long journey, this 14 days, which actually isn't that long, but it felt very long, having played 7 games over the course of 2 weeks, which it was very crazy.
It's not real,
It feels like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think that we kept getting better with each game as the tournament went on, and that's all you can hope for in a tournament like this, is that by the final game you're playing at your peak, and I think that we really did that, and I know we got that loss against Thailand in the group stage, and I think we regrouped and we stuck to our game plan in the final, and it paid off.
Well, we're gonna wrap up this segment in just a bit because I know time is flying. But then, Dom, Sarah, when you went out there for the final, and when the final whistle blew, could you just walk us through very quickly the emotions that you felt? Dom, I'll start with you.
I think it was euphoria. It was a short turnaround from SEA Games. We put in a lot of hard work individually. Europe was a big challenge, lots of travel. I think we flew almost 30,000 miles.
I don't know how you could count that, but yeah.
I got my points. That's
Yeah,
why.
all right. That's
miles.
I escalated
got
to
the miles.
business class now. That's how I know. But it was, I think, everything that we worked hard for, all those hard moments that we were at home by ourselves. It was that moment of like, we did it. And to do it in front of our friends, our family, the country, was something that I don't think you could ever really replace.
Yeah.
So yeah, the World Cup amounts to that, but
Yeah.
I think this was probably the biggest journey and the most rewarding experience that I've had so far in football.
All right, so when we come back from the break, Sarah, we're going to attack you first since we ran out of time here. But when we come back, we continue the conversation on their individual preparations. That's right, individual. So let's see what we can get from them and some fun tidbits with the women's national football team. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
back to the game. We are still joined by the girls with the gold, the women with all the wins, or better known as the champions of the AFF, the Women's National Football Team. Now let's get to know the champs real quick here.
Yeah.
In this one, let's start off with Sarah. Sarah, you joined the team this July this year, so you're a new addition. You played professionally in Norway and in England. You represented Norway in the youth level. What made you choose the Philippines, and how was that transition like for you?
They reached out to me a couple of years ago, but I just thought it was a great opportunity and to play for the country at A level. I feel really proud and very honored to be playing for the Philippines.
Dom, you actually had a little bit of a setback after your first stint with the Philippines. You had a trial in America for a big club, but then didn't pan out. You're back here, and all of a sudden you're a champion. I mean, I don't know how the world works sometimes, but then could you give us a little peek into that journey of yours?
Yeah, it was really great. Very thankful to Angel City for inviting me in. You're playing with some of the top footballers in the world, from Ali Riley to Kristen Press, and just learning how they operate and what it takes to be a professional on the international level. So I took some of the tips they gave me and tried to implement in my own individual training, so that way I could be prepared for this tournament.
Now let's move on to Tane. Tane, you mentioned earlier that you're the captain of the team. Paolo mentioned it also. How was that like, trying to lead all these different personalities from different countries to get this goal?
All over the world. Yeah. I'm sure it must have been an adventure trying to make sure everyone was on the same page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what's special about our group is just the culture of everyone being so welcoming, and we kind of just welcome everyone with open arms, and I try and keep that as kind of a standard that whoever's with us at any point in time, right when they come in, they're part of the team, they're family now, and that's how we need to treat them. And so from top to bottom, everyone's treated with respect, and I think that's what keeps us such a tight-knit group, and we can have such a melting pot because of the respect that we give one another.
T, I know you're the big ate in this group, so you said a while ago, we're going to talk about Coach Allen, but Sarah should answer it. Is that right? All right, no, but Sarah, Coach Allen, he is, a lot of people are raving about him and what he's done, but not a lot of people know how he is as a coach, how he is as a person. And could you tell us a bit about how he's like and how he pushes you as a group to be able to achieve what you've achieved?
He's a great coach. For sure he pushes us. He always wants us to improve and think about what we can do better. But he's a really good guy, both as a coach and as a person.
Yeah, they're really nice because Coach Allen hasn't flown out yet, so he could be listening.
Probably tuning in,
yeah,
right?
Maybe tuning in. But Dom, ending with you here. Obviously, this group has achieved a lot, but wants to achieve more. Coach Allen said that what's the use of preparing if you don't prepare to make it to the top? With that type of mindset, just how competitive is it in training camp? Just how competitive is it when you're preparing for tournaments, just to be able to reach that next level?
To prepare, we all get our own individual plans. I know I check in with T often when we're away, just to hold ourselves accountable. Have a shoulder to lean on when times get tough, but there are no spots that are guaranteed. We're all still fighting for our country and for a chance to represent at the World Cup. So even though we are a close-knit team, it is competitive. We have new players like Sarah come in and boss it up. So that means that we, as returners, always have to be on our A game, but it's all for our country, and it's all to make sure that we represent ourselves well next year.
Ladies, congratulations again. I wish we could talk to you a lot more. Obviously, we're going to see and hear from you more and more.
That's for sure.
We're replaying the highlights ad nauseum, by the way, ad infinitum. So, again, ladies, congratulations. We can't wait to see what the next step is for you, and we're going to be cheering all the way.
Congrats.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you so
us.
much.
And after the break, We'll get to know more about Gilas Pilipinas men's veteran Bobby Ray Parks Jr. and his highly anticipated return to the national team. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
It has been 5 years since Ray Parks last saw action for Gilas Pilipinas men. After a long season in the B-League, he was in the process of resting before heading back to Japan. But the possibility of playing for the country opened up, and he jumped on the opportunity.
It feels great, to be honest. It's an honor and a privilege, and it's very nostalgic to throw on that uniform for our country. It brings us so many memories, so many fun memories of growing up with these guys I play with, and now we're the veterans, so it's pretty cool just seeing how the next generation is doing so well and continuing to learn and continuing to grow. It's the same thing for me. Each experience I definitely cherish in my heart. To be honest, it's a process, and like I said, it starts with myself, trying to get back in shape and trying to get ready for everything. Like I said, I've been on vacay mode. I had a long season in Japan, and once the call was there to play for the national team, I dropped everything and I was ready for it. Let's make it happen. You know?
Needing the scoring punch and veteran leadership, Gilas Pilipinas called up Parks and he said yes, even though the schedule was tight.
I was able to practice with the team 6 days prior, so it was definitely tough trying to be implemented to the system, but you know, being with these guys, they help a lot, and we want to give it our best.
Playing with the next generation of Filipino basketball players, Parks could not help but be impressed both at how good they already are and how much better they could be in the future.
These guys are athletic. These guys are crazy athletic and intelligent. You know, I see why most of these players are being recruited internationally to play because they deserve it and they have the talent for it. These guys are legit for sure, and you know, from Renz being athletic as he is, and I know that he has a bright future ahead, especially also Carl Tamayo, big body, can do a lot of things. I know he'll definitely sharpen up on all aspects of his game. And people like SJ and RJ, like those guys, from 1 to 12 men here, like everybody just surprised me in the sense of like how good they are and how much I can learn also from them.
As one of the team's leaders, Parks knew that although the raw materials are there are still things that they need to work on to be more competitive.
More on the technical side, we got to continue to gel and learn from one another, and definitely our defense. I feel like we need to build chemistry on that part too, and learn the system more and more. And for me myself, you know, like I said, I've been to 6 days. I got to continue to do my part and learn to get better.
Parks isn't alone in being the veteran on the team though, as he's flanked by JP Eram and a familiar face to him in Kiefer Ravena, a player he debuted with in the Philippine national team here in Jakarta for the 2011 Southeast Asian Games.
We're the vets now. It's crazy to think that, you know, our first SEA Games together was almost over a decade ago. So this is interesting to see how, you know, we impart ourselves to the next generation.
Aside from playing alongside them on the court, Parks also has words of wisdom that he wants to impart to the younger players.
Enjoy everything. Make sure to just learn from the experience, from the ups, from the downs. Continue to keep that in your bag. And at the end of the day, it's basketball. Have fun.
With more games coming up for Gilas Pilipinas after the FIBA Asia Cup, Park said that he will still make an effort to join the team as often as he can.
Yeah, I can't wait to continue to grow with this group and continue to learn. Like I said, you know, represent the country to the best of my ability.
Now, from a Gilas Pilipinas veteran to a new face on the national squad, Kevin Quiambao has been a bright spot for the men's team in his debut on the FIBA stage. Let's get to know more about the sweet passing big and his journey to Gilas Pilipinas.
The last game Kevin Quiambao played in the Philippines was back in March 9, 2020, mere days before the start of the lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Back then, he played alongside Carl Tamayo under Coach Goldwyn Monteverde to win the NU Bullpups' second straight UAAP Juniors Basketball Championship. But while his high school teammates got to progress with their careers into the collegiate ranks, Quiambao had to complete his studies first. He could not have imagined how long he'd be away from organized basketball, and he could not have expected that the next tournament he'll join will be with Gilas Pilipinas, as he just tried to play basketball wherever he could.
Sa mga barangay na ako ngayon ng lockdown, wala akong malaman talaga. May test na pumunta ako ng Dubai para mag-try ako doon na may balik yung V-shape. Yan yung huli ko lang.
When Gilas finally came calling, Quiambao was caught off guard. He's always wanted to play for the national team, but he didn't think that it would come this early, even before he debuts in the collegiate ranks.
Sobrang ako nagulat. Hindi ko in-expect talaga. Sino ba naman ako? Last playing year ko, high school. Para kunin. Alam ko mas madami, mas better sa akin. Pero mas, ang may ano ko sa sarili ko, mas mag-work hard pa. Sobrang lang yung opportunity, lalo na madami naghahangat makakuha ng pwesto. Yun lang, nag-work hard lang ako. Enjoy na-enjoy ko rin ang process ng pagiging pagpuntasin ko. Na-enjoy ko lang po.
Quiambao takes care of the teardrop.
The adjustment from high school basketball to the national team was tough. But he got a lot of help from his head coach Goldwyn Monteverde, who became a Gilas assistant, and his former teammate Carl Tamayo.
Malaking tulong lalo't nakasama ko sila nung high school. And yung mga tulong na yun, kumbaga, i-adjust mo na paano yung i-adjust sa sarili mo sa ganitong system. Sobrang laking tulong ni Coach Gold lahat tinaturo niya and ina-explain niya na maayos na.
What has set Quiambao apart in his young stint as a Gilas Pilipinas player has been his court vision and passing ability.
Yun, katulad niyan. But this guy's a fantastic passer, ito si Quiambao.
No look yun to ka.
Ilang beses ko, even against the game against ang dami niyang pasa na ang gaganda.
He's making tough assists that seem to be beyond his experience as he posted 4 assists against the sticky defense of Lebanon, then had 9 against India.
Lagi ko pinapanood si Nikola Jokic kumbaga, dati ginagaya ko lang yun, nagiging instinct ko na. Pagka may nakita ko open pass.
As a result, the Gilas coaching staff is impressed and his teammates love playing alongside him.
That's really a strength of Kevin's game, and he's shown it since the first time he joined this team. He just now has to be able to pick his spots. There were times we felt in the last game that the openings weren't there and he was still trying to make it, force those passes. And we're sure New Zealand is going to be different, but we don't want to take that away from him. That's really a strength. And it's a luxury for us to have such a good passer in that position. So it wasn't anything consciously that we wanted him to do for this game. It was just us allowing him to go and play to his strengths.
Well, definitely love being with him on the court. It's not every day that you come across such an intelligent and aggressive passer in Kevin. Just being inside just makes me focus more on getting to my spots, because you know that when the defense reacts to whatever offense does and he has the ball, he'd most likely be able to spot that in an instant and just kick it and just give you the assist. And being with a guy like him inside the court just makes life so much easier. You know, distributing the ball from a big man's position is not, it's a little bit rare in our game nowadays. So just very fortunate to have him. I'm very proud of what he's been doing and just proud of how he's brought his strength from when he was in high school to the pros and to the international level. I'm very fortunate to have him as a teammate, and it'll only get better from here.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
I'm Paulo de Rosario, and this has been The Game.